we are going to be reacting to my boy Hammer Dances. This could be massive for TBC, where it covers the changes that TBC needs. And he wanted me to check this out, so I'm going to check it out and share with you all my thoughts and opinions on TBC getting all of these changes that would either make TBC amazing or a dog shit experience. So let's dive right into it.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about all of the things. I made a big list of all the things I'd like to see changed in TBC Classic this time to make it an overall better experience. We've gotten some changes so far on Anniversary, such as dual spec, the herbing changes. There's some things that are moving in the right direction, but I think we can fine-tune TBC Classic this time around, TBC Anniversary, sorry, and make it an even better experience than before. So let's dive on in. All right, guys, so I made a big list here of all the things I'd like to see for TBC Classic going forward this time that I think would make the experience better overall. And I want you guys to comment down below your ideas and whether you agree with my ideas or not. So the first one up on the list is obviously a 30-day pre-patch, maybe even a little bit more. Give people time to come back. There's a lot of people who didn't even want to play Anniversary at all, and they're just waiting for TBC. So give those people 30, maybe even 40 days, you know, to level their characters, their Blood Elves, their Draeneyes, or even whatever characters they make. Give them time to jump in so that we have a lot of people moving forward into TBC, which I don't think we're going to have.
Straight up, I agree with him wholeheartedly. I think TBC needs, honestly, I would even go as far as a 60-day pre-patch. There's a lot of people that just don't give a shit about Anniversary. They don't care about AQ40 or Nax. Giving people a 60-day pre-patch for TBC would be huge. So many people would enjoy raiding and Classic way more with TBC pre-patch than they would just currently as is. So if they added TBC pre-patch, let's just say 60 days before TBC's launch, there would be way more hype for TBC Anniversary, and I think it would be better for the game overall. At least that's my opinion on this. And I hope they do give us a longer pre-patch. I know 60 days is outlandish. They're not going to give us that much. But at a minimum, a 30-day pre-patch would be huge. 30-day pre-patch would be amazing for a lot of people, and I think would genuinely just make the Anniversary experience a much better experience.
I have a problem with that. Either way, everyone's pretty excited, but you know, just give people time, right? There's no reason to rush this stuff. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the honor gains. I think we can do with increasing honor gains in TBC by like 25, 30%-ish. They're pretty sluggish, especially early on, but that goes into another change that I want to talk about as well, where gaining honor feels really slow in TBC. It almost feels like it's not where it's supposed to be, which is where I get that 25-30% number from. Bumping it up that much could make it a lot more seamless, a more streamlined experience, and definitely add to the fun value of it all, right? But that leads me to another problem. Pre-made BGs are a nightmare in the Burning Crusade, right? So maybe we could think about adding like a separate BG queue for pre-made specifically, or maybe even a solo BG queue option if you're playing by yourself and you just want a solo queue and you want everyone else in that BG to be completely solo as well. That would be another option. We could add a solo queue or specifically a pre-made queue, which I think would be a major help. And maybe, I don't know, why wouldn't we think about possibly adding rated BGs to TBC, right? I mean, rated BGs are so much fun, and it would really help keep that PvP scene alive, and I think they would fit really well inside TBC with little to no changes at all, right? We already are getting the arena system. Let's just throw rated BGs in as well, give PvPers a lot more to do. I think it would be a good change. So the next thing I want to talk
I do agree with the honor changes, 25-30%, that's pretty solid. But I like the solo queue. The solo queue option sounds really good. I think the solo queue option would be the most beneficial, because like when you add like pre-made queues, no one really queues it to go with like 14 people or 9 people to do whatever they can to have one less so they don't get into the pre-made queue. So if they added solo queue versus everything else, I think solo queue would be the most popular game mode and it would be way more fun for a lot of people. So just straight up solo queue with no pre-mades, no duos, no nothing into a BG. And in regards to rated battlegrounds, hands down 100%. If they added RBGs to TBC Anniversary, I would be playing RBGs all the time. As it stands right now, if you're not going for Gladiator, the regular PvP in TBC is a little lackluster. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not really like some big thing that everybody is super excited to dive into and play and enjoy. So I think rated BGs are hands down the player. And it would be so much fun and add a lot of content for a lot of people to enjoy and dive into.
Talk to you guys about is the honored rep for heroics at the start of phase 2. I think it should be around the start of phase 2 or maybe even at the end of phase 2, but I definitely think we should have that back again where they drop the requirement to get into heroics from revered to honored, you know, specifically for your alts and things. But to be completely honest, the start of phase 2 would be perfect because that's when everyone's already 70, they've been raiding, they've been doing stuff, and they're starting to play alts, right? So it only makes sense to drop that down a little bit sooner so that you can get your alts into heroics at an even faster rate. I think this would keep the experience streamlined, make it pretty seamless to just level an alt, and by the time you hit 70, if you quested through all the hubs or ran some dungeons here and there, you're pretty much honored or at least close to it, and then you could start jumping into your heroics for your pre-bis items and then get that alt moving, right?
Quick question before I respond. Am I buzzing? I accidentally bumped my mic. I just want to do a quick mic check. Can I just get some checks in chat? Is my mic good right now or is it buzzing? Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate that very much. I absolutely agree with Hammer here, 100%. I don't fully know if I agree with adding, like, lowering it to honored, but just lowering it to honored would be even across the board for everybody. I would personally say adding, like, you know, for example, if you get exalted, you get a tab, but you can send to your alts. That makes it so that alt has like either honored reputation requirements or makes so they get triple reputation from running dungeons. So getting to review it is super easy. There are many ways to do it, but I think Hammer system is actually, now that I think about it, probably the smoothest. Just once phase 2 hits and SSC and Tempest Keep, they just go from revered or exalted all the way down to honored. Once you hit honored, everybody that's honored gets access to all the attunements. So that could honestly just be pretty solid as well.
Let's talk about, you know, account-wide attunements. This has been something that a lot of people have constantly talked about, especially with TBC. The attunements are, I guess, kind of annoying to some people. I personally don't mind them, but when you're getting on your third or fourth character, they become, you know, pretty annoying to do, right? Doing them once or twice is okay, but here's the thing. We could do account-wide attunements without it breaking the game, but there's also other ways we could do this, right? Maybe we don't just make you give you account-wide attunements completely, but we make it so that when you're getting attuned on a second character, a third character, a fourth character, maybe you get some big rewards from completing those attunements, right? Like badges or gold or anything of the sort like that. So make it feel like it's a little bit more worth it, and you're not just doing the same thing over and over again for the exact same result. But again, I'm not completely against account-wide attunements, although I do feel like it gives you content to do when you hit level 70 or 68, you know, on your alts. You have to start doing those attunements. It's like part of the experience. It's part of the game. So I'm kind of indifferent here. I've seen some stuff, people talking about the account-wide attunements. It's, I don't know, pretty controversial. Some people really want it. Some people don't. I'm in the middle where I feel like they could do it. It really wouldn't bother me, but if they didn't do it, I'd like to see them make some other changes. Like I said, you know, getting that second or third character attuned and then maybe getting a nice boost of badges when you finish the attunement or gold, something, you know, of that sort. I do think that I'd like to see the heroics kept in their pre-nerf state, right? We've seen time and time again.
Okay, so he's just jumped to a different topic. So I'm going to talk about the attunements. I do think having your alts, you know, hit exalted, and then those alts being given, like, you know, here's 50 badges or whatever, and here's a 500 gold or 1,000 gold or something like that, would actually be really, really good. Because that way you can get your alt, its epic flying mount. It'll be a bit of inflation, and a lot of people will be leveling the alt all the time because it'd be a very solid gold farm for a lot of people that don't have time. Like, every exalted rep is 1000 G box. I know a lot of people that didn't really level alts that would definitely be leveling 2, 3, 4 alts to get that 5, 10, 15, 20k gold, which would lead to some inflation. So it's not a bad idea. I could see like 500 gold per exalted reputation or 300 gold per exalted reputation. So every exalted on an alt gives you 300 G. I could 100% see that making everybody's life a little easier. I mean, they'd have to fine tune the numbers and tweak that a bit, but I'm not against that. And I do think giving rewards to your alt for leveling is 100% the way to go. Now, for a second point about pre-nerf heroics, I want to actually hear what he fully has to say before I jump in there.
We've now played through Classic 5 times, Vanilla Classic in the past like 6 years. We did TBC at least once. And I would like to see the heroics kept in their pre-nerf state, right? The content, you know, has proven to be pretty easy for most people. So keeping them in their pre-nerf state just makes it that much more engaging. You have to actually play the game. You have to CC sometimes. You have to use your class's abilities. I think it keeps that classic feeling, right? The whole purpose of this video is I wanted to talk about how we can keep TBC classic this time, right? And not have it min-maxed out of control, which it will be regardless, but let's just make it so that people still have to actually play the game and put the time in and enjoy the experience. So pre-nerf,
he's not wrong. I don't know if pre-nerf is the way to go about it, but he's 100% right that the people are going to min-max efficiency, metafy the game day one. There is no way around that. Look at Anniversary, everybody's rank 14. Rank 14 used to be a super turbo giga sweat grind, but the moment they added even some incentive, some calm, some chill to it, it didn't make the player base chill, it made everybody have to do it. And that's the thing they got to watch out with TBC Anniversary is if they make the game too easy by nerfing this or nerfing that, it could make the game not fun. But pre-nerf heroics, I don't know if that's the way to go. I feel like pre-nerf heroics is a step too far. So I'm hesitant on pre-nerf heroics because the classic player base isn't that good. And pre-nerf heroics, pre-nerf shattered holes, for example, could be straight up impossible for certain people.
Nerfed heroics would be great. Even pre-nerfed raids would be amazing, right? At this point, we've seen how quickly the player base just demolishes all the content in Classic. So why not just keep all this stuff in their pre-nerf states? I don't think it would be that bad of a thing. Maybe way down the line towards the end of the expansion, we can start nerfing stuff if people want to just have fun. But I don't know. I don't really see a reason to nerf this stuff at all. Just keep it in the pre-nerf state. Keep it decently challenging and make people farm the gear, make people cooperate, make people use their class's abilities to CC and actually complete these heroics, you know, and make it so that not everybody gets a trophy, right? Make it so that you need to learn how to play your character a little bit to complete this content. I think that is how we slow the player base down, right? By instead of making everything easier, let's keep it kind of the way that it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit challenging, right? I know even in their post-nerf state, even in their pre-nerf state, sorry, this stuff is pretty easy for most players, but to other players, it's not. So give them that.
In regards to raids, I'm going to be on the opposite side here. I feel like they should start post-nerf. I don't think that player base actually wants hard raids. I don't think anybody playing Classic truly wants hard raids. I feel like, let's look at Wrath of Lich King Classic, for example. Wrath was most popular in Naxxramas. Not Ulduar, not ICC, Naxxramas. Karazhan was most popular, well, TBC was most popular in Karazhan. Karazhan, Mag, and Gruul, not SSC, not Tempest Keep. So, like, I don't think the harder raids make the game better. So I don't think pre-nerf is a good idea. In regards to dungeons, someone in chat did just say that the dungeons were already pre-nerf. If that's the case, then yeah, they're fine as is. I don't think they got to post-nerf the dungeons. They weren't that hard, the heroics at least, so I don't think they need to really change anything there. But that's just my opinion.
That challenge. Let them feel that sense of accomplishment when they finally clear Blood Furnace, Heroic, or whatever. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually good for the overall health of the game. Next, I want to talk to you guys about something that I don't really think is that controversial, and that's going to be raid-wide Bloodlust. Group swapping is terrible. Right? Just siphoning, you know, shamans out of
100%. There is no universe where it's raid-wide bloodlust is a bad thing. I don't think group-wide bloodlust, like I like the constant shifting. I think you should have the lust debuff. So if you get lusted, you can't have it again for 30 minutes. And I think I don't mind it being group-wide. I don't mind it being like you can have like one bloodlust per group. So you still need 5 shamans. But I don't think like constantly adding a new bloodlust into like each, like the best group getting 5 like bloodlusts over and over again is not good for the game. Bad game design. And I think they should remove that or tweak that. I don't necessarily say it has to be raid-wide, but I agree with him that the constant shifting of a constant new shaman to keep the bloodlust up is too much. So giving the hasted debuff, or the lusted, whatever it's called, is good for the game. I have no qualms with that.
Groups and making sure you have a shaman for every single group. It's kind of cool, but to be honest, it's kind of a dated thing. Let's make Bloodlust raid-wide. Let's add the sated debuff and get rid of the
Sated,
multiple Bloodlusts for some people. The, you know, constant having to swap groups mid-fights. Like, it just makes no sense. It's bad gameplay. It wasn't designed to be played that way, so I don't really think changing this would affect that much. I think it would make the experience better overall for everybody. And I think we should do the same thing with the leatherworking drums, right? Make it raid-wide, okay? Because what happens is when stuff is like this, where you need a shaman in every group and then you're swapping groups, and the same thing with drums, it creates an experience that feels so much more min-maxed. It feels a lot less immersive because you're messing with UIs and interfaces and raid groups in the middle of a fight just to benefit your top group's DPS in the raid. Make it so that it just benefits the entire raid. Put the debuff in there so people can't benefit from multiple bloodlusts. And I think we'd be smooth sailing, right? I think it would just be a better overall experience. I think we should apply the Black Lotus fix to TBC herbs, specifically Terracone. The fix has proven to work really well, and, you know, Terracone was an absolute nightmare the first time around, so I think implementing this kind of a fix would be really good for TBC Classic, you know, going forward. I think.
Heck, I'll go one step further. I think they should make you have the Tarnished Undermine Real vendor, not the currency. They can do it with like badges or whatever that you farm from dungeons. Where you can literally buy the end game like resources, like moats, or like the things you have to farm to craft all your gear, to craft like enchants or this or that. That shit is absolutely ass and cancer to go on farm. Having that stuff that you can pay for with badges, you don't have to make it cheap. It can be, you know, it can be relatively expensive, but give people another way to farm stuff that isn't like having to compete in the open world in a shitty way that they just aren't able to do, that they can't actually compete with. So doing it like this is actively like I think it's a good thing. At least that's where I'm coming from. But I do agree with him adding the Black Lotus changes to endgame open world resources. 10 out of 10 decision.
I think a lot of these changes that I'm talking about, if we did all of this stuff, I think TBC Classic this time would be an even better, more fleshed out experience than the first time around. I think these are things that we can work on, and Blizzard has a chance to do them right this time. You know, make these changes. We saw what happened last time. Let's take that information and make a change and make it a better experience for the player. Now, this last one I want to talk about, this one is going to be controversial, but as we know, and as you guys all know how I feel about this, we've had GDKPs.
I fucking knew he was going to say GDKPs. I knew he was going to bring up GDKPs. My man has been on a GDKP crusade this entire time, demanding GDKPs be added back. I don't think it's necessary, but I'm going to hear his opinion. Also, Ugo Bugo, welcome to the stream, brother. I appreciate you.
He's banned in Anniversary, right? It's okay. It's whatever. I get it. My only thing here is, if we're going to keep GDKPs banned, which add a lot of replayability to the game, whether you like it or not, people raid log on 3, 4, 5 alts. That's how they like to farm gold. Whether it promotes RMT or not is beyond the point here, because the fact is that we still have mage boosting in the game.
We do.
And the Warlock bot mafia summons across the entire world to
We do.
This stuff also promotes RMT. So if we're going to follow this model of keeping GDKPs out of the game, I know that I've lost this battle. If we're going to keep GDKPs out of the game, let's also get rid of mage boosting, right? So people aren't just sitting in slave pens from level 62.
I agree with him. I ban all paladin boosting should be banned. Mage boosting should be banned. Warlock summon should be banned. Like, fuck it. Thrive in the open world, right? Fuck it. Let's go on a journey. Because I agree. I don't want GDKPs back. GDKP should stay banned. That's my point of view. But I do agree with the rest of it being banned as well. They should ban all of that. Boosting should be bannable. You should not be able to pay somebody to boost you.
And then moving to Shadow Labs boosts and then getting to 70. If we don't want GDKPs in the game because they promote RMT, mage boosting, leveling characters and alts like that, is probably the second highest form of content in this game that was not intended in the design of the game and definitely promotes RMT. As you guys can clearly see on Anniversary currently, that is what people are doing. The RMT is still sky high, and there is boosts for every single dungeon, hundreds of boosts all day long for everything, right?
He's not wrong. You can buy SGC, you can buy Hodge, you can buy like ZG, Bijus at the ass. They can, anything you're looking to buy, you can buy. There are literally people selling anything and everything in Anniversary. It's not even close.
Let's get rid of this. Let's put the SOM changes in that they did in SOM, where if there's a level 60 or, you know, whatever, scale it how it would be in TBC, but if there's a higher level character in the group, it pretty much negates almost all of your XP, so boosting isn't even worth it at that point. I think I'd like to see those changes. If we're keeping GDKPs out of the game, let's get rid of the mage boosting so people are forced to level or dungeon cleave, quest, however they want to do it, but they can't boost. And let's also try and get a handle on the Warlock, you know, bot summoning mafia, right? Regular players that are playing Warlocks and want to set up a summoning service should be allowed to do that. The problem is currently on Anniversary, the summoning services are controlled by bot mafias, is what we call them, right? It's a bunch of bots. There's no one even sitting there. A bot does all the summons. And if a normal player tries to set up shop and sell summons with their friends or maybe with other accounts they have as clickers, they get mass reported by the bot mafia and they get suspended because it's an automated system, right? So I think
I've been a vocal component of this, but the automatic report system should be removed. There should be no banning or timing out for any automatic reports. Automatic reports should not exist. You can report somebody, but unless it's manually reviewed, there should be no bans. I don't think spam reporting should be in the game. It should just be straight up, fully and utterly removed from the game. On top of that, he's not wrong. There are mafias around, but they don't ban you for competing. They ban you if you lower prices. So if you're selling for 6G, they'll report you and get you banned. You have to sell at the exact same price. In ZG, it's the same. You can sell ZG boots if you want, but you have to stay within the price range. If you change the price, you will get mass reported. So I do a million billion % agree that the botters are problematic. And there needs to be solutions to this. Ban everybody. Honestly, Blizzard should let me be a GM in-game for 8 hours a day streaming. I will stream banning all the bots. I'll be sniffing like them off the server. They would be gone. I would find every single bot and I would ban them all. Your level 60 bot boosting in BRD, banned. Boosting in ZG, banned. 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 Talk to me. You can't speak Chinese. You can't speak Indonesian. You can't speak any language. If you gotta speak fluent English. Did you fail high school and you can't speak English? Banned. Not my problem. They need to address the problem. It is a truly big problem. I'm not gonna lie.
we need to get a handle on this, and we need to get mage boosting out of the game for TBC if we're going to keep GDKPs out. If we're going to keep mage boosting in the game, you might as well throw GDKPs back in the game too, because mage boosting promotes the exact same amount of RMT, and I'd argue that it's even worse. Mage boosting is you just not even playing your character. At least the people running GDKPs are still logging in and raiding and playing the game, right? So those are some changes that I would like to see. We already have dual talents, which is...
I still don't agree with this GDKP point of view. I get where my boy is coming from, but GDKP should not be in the game. I don't think so. I think they should ban all RMT, realistically. And hey, Bob, you want to come? I'll boost you through this dungeon. And here's a 20G tip for boosting me. Both of you banned. Ban should be, you not make boosting against TOS. Any kind of boosting should be against TOS. Hands down.
Going to be great,
but still no GDKPs.
I think it's going to help keep the PvP system alive and well. I think a lot more people are going to start dabbling in PvP this time around, specifically because of the fact that dual talent specialization is in the game, right? Maybe what we also need to do is give players, like, take a page out of Sod's book and give players a way to make gold, you know, a little bit more gold. Right? So if we think about this as a whole, we got GDKPs out of the game. If we banned mage boosting and got that out of the game in some way, like I said, the SOM changes or just ban it altogether. If we got a handle on the Warlock bot summoning mafia, and maybe we gave players, maybe dailies gave players 3 or 4 times the amount of gold. So it was a legitimate gold farm to log in and do that content every day. Really, what are you spending gold on in TBC? You have your epic flying mount, which is 5K. Most people are going to already have that gold. Like, people you're talking to in Anniversary at this point have 30, 40, 50,000 gold. So
they do.
That's not going to be the same farm as it once was in TBC. You have your epic flying. You have people who want to purchase dual spec, which is 50 gold. It's pretty much nothing. You have enchants, and you have raid consume. So make it maybe so that the daily quests, you know, scattered around Outlands give you 3, 4, 5 times the amount of gold. And I think that would be a good change. If we do that, and we're keeping GDKPs out, and we're banning the mage boosting, I think this would be a really, really good experience. But I really want to know what you guys think about this. I know I make a lot of these videos and I get a lot of comments going either way, you know, both sides down below. So
in regards to people having 30, 40k gold, the majority, 98% has 1k or less. The top 2% has 98% of the gold, right? The top 2% has 98% of the gold. And the top 1% has 90% of the gold. I have viewers who with 20, 30,000 gold, right? So these people exist, but they, you know, it's when you control the economy, you control the supply and flow of goods. But that is not the average player. I would definitely say the average player is less than 1k gold in TBC. But, well, anniversary, but I just want to like throw my opinion there.
If you're watching this video and you're passionate about TBC, let me know some of the changes you'd like to see if I didn't mention them here, and let me know what you agree with and disagree with, because, you know, this is our game, right? Blizzard clearly listens to us at this point when we talk about making changes and things. So it's important to get this out there and kind of see where the community lands on these topics, what they would like to see change, what they would like to see kept normal. You know, and I'm a player of this game. I play this game a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't even make the content. So I want you guys to comment down below whether you agree with me, disagree with me, changes maybe that I left out that you'd like to see in TBC Classic going forward this time. I just want this to be a really good experience. It's extremely anticipated. Everyone's hyped up. You know, it's probably about 6 months out at this point, but we're all really excited for this. And I think Blizzard has a chance here to do this better than they did the first time. The first time was amazing, but I think we can make the experience even better.
Welcome to the cult, Serial Andre. Thank you.
Constructive criticism, you know, and talking about these things in a good discussion format, explaining why they would be good or why they would be bad, gives Blizzard the insight, you know, the information, the data they need to kind of make these decisions. So comment down below, seriously, guys. Whether you agree, disagree, I want to know what you think. Let me know some changes you'd like to see. Are you excited for TBC? What class you're playing? I'm pumped. I can't.
The big change I want for TBC, like after Blackwing Lair, no to AQ or NAC, straight to TBC pre-patch. That's what I would like. Straight to TBC pre-patch. Directly, believe it or not, directly to TBC. I think that would be amazing. But that's just my point of view. Just want to throw that out there. That's the major change I want to see. A longer pre-patch. I just want to be in TBC already.
Can't wait. You know, I'm getting a little burnt out of Anniversary at the moment. You know what I mean? And I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm ready for TBC to come. I know we have MOP coming. I'm kind of excited for that. Nowhere near as excited as I am for TBC, but I'm going to be playing MOP. I think it's going to be a good time. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped up. So I'm also pretty pumped. This Friday, 2 days from now, Arc Raiders might be launching at the Summer Games Fest. So we'll be playing some of that on stream too. We'll be taking a little bit of a WoW break for like a few days there and playing Arc Raiders. The game looks fantastic, bro. I'm so pumped up for it. But, you know, I know most of you guys are WoW gamers, so I'm not going to go off on a tangent there. Either way, comment down below, like this video, share this video with other people. I want to hear what they have to say. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. We're pushing for partner this year. I think we can actually make it by the end of the year. We're at around 20 to 35 concurrent viewers every time we go live. If we can get to 75, we're going to make that partner push. That's all we're missing, guys. So please help me out. Follow me on Twitch and turn on notifications so you know when I go live on there. Subscribe to the channel if you love WoW Classic like me. And thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.
My boy Hammer with a solid video. Great video, my man. I appreciate it. I'm going to link his video in the description down below. You guys can check it out there. I'm also going to paste it in chat. So anybody that hasn't watched it yet, go ahead and leave it a watch. And like the video and subscribe to Hammer Dance if you haven't yet. My dude is, he's legit. And if you do want to follow him on Twitch, follow him out on Twitch as well. Help him get his partner push in. My man deserves it. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, my reaction to Hammer Dance at least, like and subscribe. If you hate it, understandable. React content is shit cheap content, but it is content. So thank you all. Thank you for watching my second channel. If you like my second channel, go check out my main channel. Main channel is way better. Thank you all. Ebonhard out. Adios. Peace.